With wearecolerain.com here at Colerain High School 1 week before the opening of the 2018 football season. We're here with head football coach Tom Bolden for our 2018 preseason interview. Coach Tom, it's always a pleasure to see you. Welcome to the new season. Thank you for your time out of your very busy day.
Always a pleasure to see you and the fellas, and it's here. How about that? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Officially
cool.
7 more days, 1 hour and 16 minutes.
How about that? Pretty neat, huh?
It's great.
First thing I see every morning when I open up the office door.
Right mindset, right mindset. So we've got some questions we want to run through.
Sure.
It's going to be a little bit more fun this year.
Absolutely.
Because every year typically we do this interview and we go position group by position group. We're not really going to do that. We're going to have a little bit of fun.
And I can say the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't want to do that.
Sure.
People see you on Fox 19
sure.
and CPS, so we're going to have a little bit more fun this year. First thing I do want to touch on, as I do every time, this is your 12th season, so congratulations on that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's tremendous. Do you think you'd be here 12 years?
That's a good question. Never really thought of it that way. I think I'm more surprised how fast
it's gone.
12's gone. But, I knew when I became the head coach, I'm like, well, big shoes to fill. I hope I just don't screw it up.
Fair enough.
And then we played what? Braxton Miller, State and Wayne, my first game, and then second game we played Hoover, Alabama.
Yep.
Fortunately we were 2-0 after those two, but could have easily been 0-2, and I really would have been. They would have had my head. But yeah, no, I never really thought about it in terms of. It's kind of always taken it one year at a time. So it's just kind of like another year. Hopefully I can be here for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we certainly are not going to go back. Last time we talked, obviously, it was last November.
Mm-hmm.
Different place. I know you haven't talked a whole lot about it, and we're not gonna rehash it. But as a coaching staff, is there anything that you can take away from the way the season ended, kind of the last few games, and then of course the Pickering Central game?
You got to take care of the ball. Plain and simple. That's. It's the MO for a lot. I always say it's the same MO. Got to stay healthy. Got to take care of the ball. And I don't mean a lot. I don't mean to disrespect our opponents, but I'm pretty confident in where we're at as a team this year, and I'm pretty much where we got to the point last year that if we take care of the football, we don't turn it over. I'm gonna always say you can't beat us, but I don't want somebody using this poster part, but I guess they could. We'd be awful tough to beat. I do know that. And that was the thing. And that's been the emphasis. We've got to take care of the football. And, when I reflect back on it, we learned from it, but they made good plays. Pickering did. They knocked it. It wasn't like we were really careful. There were a couple, but 5 turnovers, you're just not. Think about that. The 10 turnovers and 2 Final Four games.
Yeah.
We had, and you're just like, you're going to beat a lot of people, let alone, a Dayton Wayne that year and a Pickering Central last year. So you got to take care of the ball. And I feel it got to the point where, I wasn't really angry for them. I just felt for them.
Right.
And I felt for them because here you are having adults that you're hearing things, from the stands directed at the kids. That's one thing, to get after me, that's okay. But directed toward the kid, and I'm thinking to myself, didn't go out there to mean to fumble.
Wasn't intentional.
It wasn't intentional. Gunner didn't mean to throw that interception. And so that was a little disappointing, but my heart went out to him. But, no, we learned from it. No, we know we just can't have it again. So we've done a lot of things in our preseason to make sure we're taking care of the football.
So now we're into the preseason, final preseason tune-up tonight against Oak Hills, which we're going to televise or we're going to broadcast live. Obviously, we're not going to know all the names of all the kids.
Sure, and we're going to be in the white jerseys, and there's no game jerseys, so it'll be a nightmare for you guys.
That's fine. We're going to talk more about the flow of the game.
Sure, absolutely.
Speed and how hard to hit, that kind of stuff. Can you introduce the captains? I don't know that that's been revealed yet.
Yeah, and I hope I can remember them all. Yeah, so we have Luke Bolden, my son, was nominated, and these are nominated by the kids.
Right.
Coaches, we don't do it. We sit there and explain to them what we view the captain should be, how the process worked, and the kids run with it. So my son Luke was one on the defensive side. Ivan Pace was one, which
Okay.
Ivan's come a long way from his freshman year. I think is really, really neat. And because we teased him, so what'd you do, Ivan? Scare everybody into the captain vote? Joking. But no, he's come a long way, and I think is really good for him. And he's kind of the offensive, defensive. He gets to go in between with them. Eric Phillips from the defensive end. And then from the offensive end, we have Rusty Feth. We have J.J. Davis.
Wow.
Deontay Smith-Moore.
6.
Yep, and actually we have 6 that they voted on because when they get to the point where the numbers are tie and things like that, and we have a 7th that was this. So we had the ties to give us 6, and I actually have named a 7th. Now 7th can't go out there, but it's pretty neat. And I shouldn't say only with Colerain football, but it's pretty neat. A young man by the name of Hector Lopez, and you wouldn't recognize Hector if you walked in the room. He's probably the smallest kid on the team this year. He's a kid who really didn't start playing football until he got to high school. He comes from a family where I believe his parents were not born in the United States, and they are a success story. And he's a young man who I think started off as like he needed football more than football needed him. And that's one of the processes that I tell the kids with captains. Maybe it's that kid who's come such a long way and has faced all this adversity, whether it be a family at home and his outside, influences and all this kind of stuff about where they come from to get where they've got. And you reward that. And even though he was the next guy voted in, I chose to reward Hector and nominate him a captain with these kids. And it was pretty cool to think what his teammates thought of him too, with how many votes that he got.
That's
so pretty darn neat.
7 captains for the year.
Yes,
Excellent.
so 7. Yep. So really, we call it leadership council.
That speaks to the strength of this class.
Yeah, 6 with Hector, and Hector, I just call him. He's my 7th captain. I like the number 7, so he's my 7th captain.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the offense.
Yep.
What does I think obviously everyone understands Deontay Smith-Moore is going to be taking over the primary quarterback responsibilities. Has a lot of experience at the position. What does he bring to the position that you've seen so far through practices earlier on and 2-a-days that really makes it special for him?
Leadership, toughness, and he goes 1,000 miles per hour all the time. He plays 1,000. Now there's guys that are faster, JJ and all them, but he plays so fast. He goes forward. He is going forward. He's 1,000 miles per hour all the time.
And so I'll just throw this aside. Was there ever any consideration going into the practices of anybody else being the quarterback? No. So after his play last year as a junior,
he was good enough to be the starter last year. But
not the way it worked out.
No, wasn't the way it worked out.
Gotcha.
Gunner was my guy. I thought Gunner did everything to earn it and things like that. And when Gunner got banged up, Deontay was the guy. Probably the only thing was, the LaSalle game early last year. Probably should have played Gunner, how banged up he was, and put him back in. And that's on me, but I'll take that. You have faith in your kids. You believe in them. They made sacrifices. You want to reward them and things like that. But think about it. Deontay played fullback last year, played wingback last year, and he did all this at a high level. He went in our dime stuff on defense, played outside linebacker and things like that. But I'm telling you what, when it's all said and done after this year, and I know this is a big statement, and Deontay was he could rank up there in terms of running the triple as the best one I've had. How he runs the triple, how he gets off the mesh, how he things like that. Yeah.
How important is it? His center is back.
Yes.
Correct? So that's ace.
Yes.
So how important is
Oh,
that?
it's huge. It's just that relationship that you have that think about that. You put your hands on a man's rear for all those plays and all that. You got to have a little relationship or a little trust, right?
You're going to build one real quick.
But yeah, no, that's huge. That's huge. We have, not only Ace, but you got Big Rusty, and TJ Ganella, who TJ's, had such a tremendous year last year. We didn't know what he could do, and having those three back up front, and is huge.
How will he play the position differently than the way we saw Gunner play it?
I think what happens is he gets off the mesh. Gunner read it really well. I think Gunner might have read it a little bit better than Deontay. But I think Deontay's mechanics are better than Gunner's.
Okay.
Yes,
gotcha.
Much better. In terms of guys, option guys know. In terms of footwork, getting off the mesh, decision make. It's quick. He's really quick reflexes. A lot of fast twitch.
The obvious question is: he going to? Do you expect that you're going to have as much opportunity for him to throw the football?
Oh yeah, he's got a cannon. He's got an absolute cannon, and he's a little bit obviously a little shorter Gunner, but not much. But yeah, he's got a cannon.
So from an offensive play calling, it may not be that much different.
No, we're doing what we do.
Okay.
Yeah, and now it might be a little bit more true triple, because how well he runs it, and when you're sitting there with Ivan, and them other cats back, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? You play with what you got.
Yeah.
That's the biggest regret last year. From the get-go, I should have committed to Ivan. But right before game one, I think LaSalle game and it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. There's a name I have in mind, and I want to see if you say it as well. I think you will, but we'll find out. Give us the name of somebody that we, to this point, have not talked about, maybe the community isn't aware of, but somebody on offense who 5 weeks from now we're going to say, where did that dude come from? And man, is he really good.
Freddie. So Freddie's a sophomore. He'll play some wing back.
Freddie Jones?
No. Freddie Johnson.
Johnson.
Yes. So he can play wide receiver. He can play wing back. He's an excellent. He's so mature beyond his year. He was a kid as a freshman that didn't play any freshman football, and if he probably would have played freshman football, they may have all lost the game. But so he played JV and played varsity last year in terms of specials. I would if I had to say one kid on, he'd be the one. Because you know about the other guys.
Yeah. So he's a sophomore this year.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's still a puppy. Yes.
Freddie Johnson. So he's still learning.
Yes.
So we'll keep an eye on him. All right. We'll get off the offense because we've already. We know about JJ and all the coming back on offense. And we're gonna do a little word association.
Yep.
I've always wanted to do something where you just get to just say right comes right off your mind.
Oh God. That's pretty scary with me.
I know, but this is safe.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to give you either a name or a
you
phrase.
You can edit this, right? No, we're live though, right? No 7-second delay.
No. Here we go.
Right,
you ready? I'm going to give you a name or a phrase.
Yep.
And you just say immediately what comes to your mind.
Gotcha.
One word or a couple of words, and we'll go from
Gotcha.
there. If you want to expand on that, that's you. Here,
okay.
First one. We already talked about it. Ace Ehrenschwender.
Solid.
Okay. Ivan Pace Jr.
Taz. As in the Tasmanian Devil. The cartoon?
Yeah. Jeff Waltz. It's a curve.
It's a curve. Because there's a lot of words.
And they be said on live.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Talk about Jeff.
My rock.
Yeah.
I don't want my wife to get jealous.
I understand.
It's amazing all the stuff Jeff can do. I'm just not a football coach, but outside the tech stuff. He's a teacher. He's a leader. He's just a rock. Yeah.
All right. So that we'll come back to that.
Okay.
We'll come back to some of those other ones. Here's a little bit more fun. We're gonna do a little true or false. And these are real fun.
Now the other coaches obviously are going to get jealous too, because I could probably give you a word about each one of them, but we're good.
I'm sure you
can.
All the time. What? No, we don't. These are true or false. I'll make the statement. You just tell me true or false.
Okay.
Here we go. The Little Cars organization is a clandestine attempt to recruit players and teach them the triple option at age 7.
First of all, I'm just a dumb football coach and a phys ed teacher. What was that one word?
Clandestine?
You're just trying to show how smart he is.
No,
I know
you know it.
No.
False.
False. Oh yeah, true false. No. And I just expand real quick. I will do anything and everything for those guys that are actually going to play their playoff game.
On the field?
Up here this year, which will be really, really cool. My kids went through the organization.
Right.
And I'll do anything for them. I'm not expecting them, it's tough for our freshmen to run the triple option. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just hope they develop a lot of good players, with those good coaches that seem like they're doing, and which makes me a better coach.
There you go. Next one. You once tried to wear your whistle to a wedding.
True.
Is that right?
Yeah. Thought I'd have a little fun. It might have been my own, to be honest with you. Yeah, I tried a little fun with it. Yeah, had a little fun with it.
There you go.
Yeah, another friend of mine, coach, things like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, next one. You've hit the age where you no longer understand or appreciate the music in the locker room.
True. And this shows you, I would value myself as still pretty hip, but they don't even use the word hip anymore.
No, they do not.
The kids would probably say, yeah, Coach B's kind of with it, and all that, but yeah.
It happens at some point.
I'm pretty diverse what I listen to, but yeah.
Okay.
All sounds the same these days.
Last one, then we're going to talk about
All
defense
right.
special teams. You have at some point in your 11-year career so far, soon to be 12, here as a head coach, you've been approached about playing a game versus a national level opponent, but have had to turn it down for whatever reason.
Yes. True.
Okay.
Yeah, not yes, true.
True.
Yeah. We had an opportunity years ago to fly to Texas, and I believe it was Trinity, Ulysses Trinity, who had it rolling at the time, and play. But the problem was the promoter of the game said we could only bring 75 players, and I mean, I don't care if it's your 4-string, whatever. I'm not going to look at kids and say,
You're not going to choose.
you can't go. And then here's the other thing. How feasible was it for my parents to, pack up, get it? You know what I mean?
Get a flight and fly.
And that would be selfish of me. It would have been, as much as I would have loved to play and go down there, that would have been selfish. And it's not about me, and I wasn't going to leave anybody behind, kids or parents.
Gotcha. All right, great.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about defense, special teams. There's one, seems like a perpetual question. Is one Bolden just stepping in for the other?
Yeah.
Dan's gone, and Dan,
So
huge part of our defense.
Yeah.
And now Luke steps up as a senior.
And here's the biggest thing in terms of, Kyle called it for a couple years. Actually, 3 years. Kyle ended up calling it. Calling the defense. Daniel called it. Luke's calling it this year. And it's not because they're Boldens, but part of it because they are. They've been around it all their life. We eat, breathe it, and they're students of the game, and they know it,
Is Luke playing the same position that Dan did?
Yes.
So he's moving to.
Yeah. So we have two insides in our 50.
Right.
Sometimes we'll play boundary, one will play field, things like that. But yeah, Luke has now become the field. Not always that way, but field backer strong inside. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. You mentioned it before. Let's talk a little bit about now. Focus a little bit on Ivan. So last year, you used him on both sides. You said maybe you thought, in retrospect, it might have been better to move him to offense a little bit earlier. But I think part of what we saw in the playoff game against Pitt Central is it seemed like he was wearing down.
Yeah.
And I know he kind of got injured banged up a little bit late in the year, which how could he not? Right?
Yeah.
He's a senior now. I'm sure he's bigger, stronger, put on some weight after wrestling. But talk a little bit about him and how you're going to use him on defense and offense, and then what have you learned about using some of these guys two ways?
Well, and that's the thing too, that's the tricky part where we made that conscious effort a few years ago to say you think you're Colerain, you're a big school, we got 90 players and all this kind of stuff, but you want to get your best dudes on the field, and I think a lot of it with Ivan, he would probably never tell you that, but that's a long season, got a little tired playing both ways. We get him off specials. I have him on punt, and that's it, so that'll help. So he's off a lot of the specials because he could do all. Hell, he could return punts, catch punts, he could return kickoffs. But so we'll help that out with him there. I do feel pretty confident where we're at offensively, that if he needs a blow, then, we got other stuff we can do. I feel pretty confident where we're at defensively with some young guys stepping up, that if he needs a blow on defense, we're okay, But, we're in them battles. Dig in. Let's go. You know what I mean? He's playing every play.
Let's talk a little bit about, let's move further back in the defense, talk a little bit about the secondary. For the first time in several years, we don't have an Amir, we don't have a Javon.
Sure.
But we've got a real special player and Yvonne's brother and
Yeah.
some other guys. So talk a little bit about the secondary.
We're solid. You know, with Sincere corner, another two-way player. We got Jakari Patterson and we got Deshaun Pace, Ivan's brother. I mean, we got 3 really good football players right there. All long, all very athletic. So I'm extremely confident in those guys. We've got a battle at the other corner position between Zoe Kendricks and right now Zoe Kendricks and Jaquan Jackson, 2 seniors. So they right now no one has won it yet. What'll be nice about tonight was Sincere not playing. You know, one will play one corner, the other, so they'll get a ton of reps and we'll evaluate it. And we're not beyond playing them both through the course of the season.
Same question on defense we asked about offense.
Yeah.
Is there, maybe there isn't, but is there a player that we're going to be talking about 4 or 5 weeks from now that we don't know anything about defensively?
Dante Corleone,
Dante Corleone.
another sophomore. You'll notice.
At what position?
Nose guard. We've got 2. I would say him and Donovan Owens. So we have 2 young men you'll see tonight. I mean, Dante Corleone, this kid is going to be normal. He's about 6 foot right now. He's the largest hands I've ever seen. He can barely fit double XL gloves. He has a size 15 shoe going into a 16. He has a huge head. He's about 6 foot. His dad was a state wrestler in Michigan. He's probably this time next year, he's going to be 6'4" or so. He benches 315 pounds as a sophomore. He has the potential. I know he has the potential to be the next bird, the next Terrell Bird. He could be that dude. He is going to be special. I mean, you'll just notice tonight physically how different we are. And Donovan Owens, and you know he's 250 whatever pounds. Donovan Owens is another kid who's 6'2".
What year is he?
He's a junior. Did not play last year. Played as a freshman. Did not play last year. Just some things with family wise, getting straight with his mom, and
gotcha.
But he's probably 240, 250 pounds, and has had a tremendous 2 innings. So those 2 you'll notice they'll pass the eyeball test right off the bat.
Back to word association.
Yep.
I'm glad you didn't bring it up. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about it now. Eric Phillips.
That you'll notice also. So we got to a point last year with Eric how he grew. I mean, he's 282 pounds. And, he was going to UC to play defensive end, or he might play that jack. I was talking to Coach Fickle at the Muller scrimmage, and I said, he's the jack. They play this stand-up defensive end that could drop and all that, called a jack. But I thought, well, we'll move him in tackle. I mean, he's starting outside linebacker right now. He is the largest outside. He comes off the edge during that, and Dylan Wiseman said this, who Dylan's coaching with me, who was an all SEC guard and center at Tennessee, played against Alabama, played against LSU. He said after one of the 2 days we were up in the office between practices, and he said when Eric comes off the edge, he looks like an Alabama defensive lineman.
Wow.
I mean, he's 6'4", 282 pounds, and he has a ton of fast twitch. That's scary. It is.
And you're playing him with his
outside linebacker. He's standing up. He's, we call our old school 50-cent angle, or
right.
DNs. We let the kids call themselves outside linebackers. They're DNs in our scheme.
But they're up.
He's standing up. He's dropping into coverage. Now he could go down, and we'll move him down to do some things. But it's impressive.
We mentioned it before. Again, word association. What jumps right to your head about someone like Jakari Patterson? He seems like he kind of sometimes gets overlooked, I feel.
Yeah, quiet but crazy athlete. And I think that's why he gets overlooked. He's a quiet kid, but crazy athletic.
Really?
Crazy athletic.
Like sincere athletic? Maybe not quite, but...
Not quite. Could jump.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite run as well, but could jump. Not like, Sincere's like elite. Sincere's like Eugene and,
Is he the best athlete on the team?
Yes. Best all-around athlete.
Running,
Sincere,
jumping, cutting.
catching, all, quick jumps, project, yes. He's in that realm with Eugene and DeJounte.
Gotcha.
Like if you were to say, hey, in the last whatever, give me 3 dudes, those would be the 3 most athletic guys that I'd seen. Whether I played with here or coached and things like that.
All right. Word association, last one, then we'll move on to the last questions. Coach Fish.
Proud. Coach Fish, he came to me as a freshman coach. He was darn near 400-something pounds. Lost a ton of weight. Got into the coaching. Really loved the coaching. Got hurt doing his jiu-jitsu stuff. Tore his arm up. Gained a lot of weight back. But's lost it again. Committed. But he went and got his teaching license. And that was the thing about coaching, why I loved coaching here. He got his teaching license, and not a lot of people know Coach Fish teaches a class here, our special education class. It is it's our MH unit, and it is our most severe. So all his kids are nonverbal. They're all in wheelchairs. Several of them are
MH meaning mental health,
multi-handicap. So mental and physical handicaps. Yep. Don't all have wheelchairs. I think of the 5 that he has, because you only have so many. He's in a sensory room with them. I think 2 or 3 of them can get out of the wheelchairs at a time, but not for an extended time. But they're no verbal. But that's Fish's crew, and that's his kids, and he's with them every day. And he's got an older autistic son himself. Yeah, I'm just proud at him of how far he's come. And now he's doing what he loves, coaching and teaching, and I'm proud, and I'm happy that I could help him with that and be a part of that. Yeah, so proud would be a great word.
That's great. Yep. Excellent. Last kind of question, and then we have a couple of last ones, just for fun again, then we'll get you out of here. What is the #1 myth about being a head coach here at Colerain that you would like to dispel? I mean, I'm sure there are lots of people that think lots of different things about what it is to be you in this role.
That I make a lot of money.
Do people think that?
Oh, you'd be shocked. Kerry did well, but Kerry was an assistant principal.
He was in administration.
He's in administration,
right,
and a coach. His wife was in administration. So I think there's this kind of myth that you coach a really good football team.
So you must make a lot of money.
You get paid like the guys in Texas. You get paid like the guys. And listen, I don't do it for the money, but you would be amazed how some people think that the success equals whatever. Yeah. Huh. So I hope my superintendent's listening. We can maybe renegotiate something after this year's.
We can send them a link.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's one of those. It's weird. People just. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Few last one again quickly. Word association, because I think these are fun. The streak. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
18 in a row.
What? I could, like I said, I don't think about.
You really don't think about it?
I don't. Like I said, about the coaching thing, it's kind of like 1 year at a time, and then maybe after this year, maybe I might, because I think we tie Princeton or we go ahead of Princeton or something like that.
We're getting close, not there yet.
I mean if consecutive. I know they've got more, but I think this ties them consecutive or something or whatever.
It could. It's very close if it does.
So I think maybe I'll think about it more after that.
Right.
Because somebody was talking. I think Coach Joseph was telling me about. But I don't really think much. Much.
Do the kids think about it?
No,
they don't at all.
No, they just let's go out and win it.
Because 18 years ago to them was most of them weren't even born.
Yeah, they couldn't tell you. They just know we will go out and win it. We're expected to win it.
So does that help you avoid? Because I've always wondered, how do you avoid complacency with the kids?
We're always compete. How we coach. Here's what I told my kids, and they understand this from day one. I said, the only thing I'll guarantee seniors is the first opportunity. But here's what I tell them. I said, if I got a senior, and I got a sophomore or a freshman or whatever, and the ability's the same, the character's the same, on and off the field, in the classroom and everything, and it's the same, I will guarantee the senior only this. He'll get the first opportunity in camp to show me that he can win the spot, but by the end of the camp, if he shows you how to get the spot, I'm playing the sophomore. Don't mean I don't love the senior. But people got to understand, I get 3 years out of a sophomore, 1 out of a senior, and the kids know that. So the kids know I've started as a junior, but coming back as a senior, or I'm a junior about to be a senior, and that senior's graduated, and I was a 2 in that spot. You ain't guaranteed. Nobody's guaranteed. So you're always pushed. And we're always competing in everything we do. We compete against each other's coaches. The players compete against each other. Yeah, the complacency is not, we don't have that problem. And I think it's a lot to our success.
So that feeds really well into our next kind of word association, competitive balance.
Mm-hmm.
A big issue in the state, not so much in our division, but you may have seen the news recently about the court injunction and with GCL co-ed divisions. And
Yeah.
Do you believe, is there a future to finding a happy medium, or is this going to end up with a split?
I think it's just going to be something that just drags on and just more confusing. Like if you said word association, competitive balance, I would say confusing. Because it's just like, you know, I'm like, I get it. I get it on both sides. I get that, you know, ultimately you hear people say, well, it's going to go to the split. It's going to be a public, you know, listen, you know, would we have a greater opportunity to win a lot of state titles if there was a split between the public and private? Yeah, you're darn right. But I really like playing those guys. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's tough. Would it be cool to stand there? But yeah, you know, and it's not to guarantee that we win it if the privates were in there. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Confusing, I guess, for me.
Last word association, and then a final true false. Lisa Bolden.
Get me all emotional now.
It's okay.
Everything.
Everything to you.
Yeah.
Final true false. You've got all you need to be playing in Canton, Ohio in week 15.
True.
Coach, it was a pleasure. Good luck. We'll be talking every week.
Absolutely. Fun stuff, guys. Thank you.
For head coach Tom Bolden, this is Chris Amonitis with WeAreColerain.com.